The postseason begins on October 4th with the AL wildcard on TBS, and then October 5th with the NL wildcard on ESPN. Then October 7th, the National League Division Series begins on FS1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Alex Reyes with a big strikeout. He was as excited as he's been during this start to strike out Chris Bryant and strand a two-out base runner at third and hold his 3-run lead. Cardinals bat in the 5th. And they'll do so against a new pitcher. The second reliever used by the Cubs today is the veteran right-hander Trevor Cahill.
He was huge for him last year after acquiring him from the Braves. The Braves got him from the Diamondbacks. And this year, providing innings out of the pen, sinker ball that acts like a bowling.
Johnny Peralta with a shot into left center field, a leadoff single. Yeah, we talked about the postseason a moment ago, and for the Cardinals, that postseason urgency has already begun. Starting play, as we mentioned at the top of the telecast, a half game back of the second wild card spot. Giants are in San Diego again tonight, and the Mets host the Phillies again later on this evening.
When you look at those three teams, of course, the Giants still have to end up playing the Dodgers, but the Dodgers will have that locked up.
Bouncer for Rizzo. He gets one himself and then throws down to second to double off Peralta.
Oh, once Rizzo got it right here, this was an easy decision. Step on the bag, give him plenty of time to apply the tag. Easy double play.
There are a lot of clinch possibilities today. There's Yadi Molina now with the bases empty. And in the National League, the Nationals can clinch their division, the NL East, if they beat the Pirates and if the Mets lose tonight. We'll start talking about some of the three-way tie situation formulas a little bit later on. Turns into a quick inning despite the leadoff single. Still 6-3 St. Louis.
I don't want to live with the uncertainties of Hep C.
Or wonder whether I should seek treatment. I am ready.
Because today, there's Harvoni, a revolutionary treatment for the most common type of chronic hepatitis C. Harvoni is proven to cure up to 99% of patients who've had no prior treatment. It transformed treatment as the first cure that's one pill once a day for 12 weeks. Certain patients can be cured with just 8 weeks of Harvoni. Harvoni is a simple treatment regimen that's been prescribed to more than 250,000 patients. Tell your doctor if you've had a liver transplant, other liver or kidney problems, HIV, or any other medical conditions, and about all the medicines you take, including herbal supplements. Taking amiodarone with Harvoni may cause a serious slowing of your heart rate. Common side effects of Harvoni may include tiredness, headache, and weakness.
I am ready to put Hep C behind me.
I am ready to be cured.
Are you ready? Ask your Hep C specialist if Harvoni is right for you.
Have you ever had a vacuum in your car that you fell in love with? Well, you're about to.
Current owners or lessees of FCA or competitive vehicles finance and get $2,000 total cash allowance on the all-new Chrysler Pacifica.
This isn't the country of just okay, which is why we are introducing a better network than ever before. Behold, the future of wireless is here. Data limits.
Some future.
Verizon's network isn't better if it's limited. Don't let them fool you. T-Mobile now covers 99.7% of Verizon's customers. Switch to the network built for unlimited data for everyone.
Alex Reyes with a couple of big strikeouts, actually 3 of them. He gets Rizzo twice, and then to end the 4th, runner at third strikes out Chris Bryant. A big one for him. Ken Rosenthal with a little bit more.
Well, that last one was on a slider, and that's a pitch he came up with. Well, he always had, but he came back with it once he got to the big leagues. Derek Lilliquist, the Cardinals pitching coach, always asks pitchers when they come up, what is your repertoire, and did they take any pitch away from you in the minors? To the second question, Reyes said, yes, they made me stop throwing my slider. So Lilliquist had him throw it in the bullpen. He wanted to see the spin. And then the game against the Cubs on August 13th, Reyes' curveball wasn't working, so Lilliquist told him, throw it to Yachty between innings when warming up, the slider. Let's see it again. They started using it that day, and he's not using it often, but it's a weapon for him now.
Well, and again, a lot more confidence with it, as Ken reported earlier, because when you get the seal of approval on a pitch from Yachty Molina, tends to go a long ways.
No doubt, and he's able to massage his starters, young or old, through a game and know what is best. Yadier Molina is so prepared. He's got all the scouting reports. They go through their meetings. He knows what the weakness and strengths of each hitter is and the weakness and strengths of his pitchers.
Rizzo lines into left. Brandon Moss handles it, and there's one away to start the fifth. So now Ben Zobrist, he had the big two-run triple in the first that kind of counterpunched that four-run start to the day that the Cardinals hung on Jason Hamill. Last half inning, we were talking about some of the clinch scenarios on this Saturday in Major League Baseball, pending the outcomes of many of the night games tonight. There is one other game in progress as we speak. Detroit very much in the wild card hunt in the American League, has a 3-1 lead over Kansas City. We'll update you as to how that got to that 3-1 score in a bit. But in terms of the clinch scenarios in the American League, the Red Sox can clinch a playoff berth if they beat the Rays tonight and if Baltimore loses at home to Arizona. If only one of those things happens, then Boston clinches no worse than a tiebreaker. Zobrist into the corner and foul. Cleveland can clinch no worse than a tie for the AL Central, even if they don't clinch a playoff berth outright tonight. And that'll happen if they win and Detroit loses to Kansas City.
Well, the American League certainly has more suitors for playoff spots as far as the quality of teams than the National League. Basically, three teams in the National League have been going at it for a while, and all three teams have lost on multiple occasions, where you just know that getting that one spot locked in would be huge.
And there's ball four to Ben Zobrist. So with one out and one on, talking about the Tigers and Royals, and Ryan Field has an update back in Los Angeles. Ryan.
Yeah, Matt, let's get you to Motown. Tigers looking for their first ever win against Yordano Ventura in 11 tries, and J.D. Martinez, RBI single, made it a 2-1 game. It's now 3-1. Tigers batting bottom of the fifth. Guys, back to you.
And the Tigers have that second wild card spot in the American League, a half game better than Baltimore. Seattle's hanging around, so are the Astros, and even though there are a lot of teams to overcome, mathematically speaking, the Yankees are still alive in the wild card race.
You know, every game counts. I mean, that's stating an obvious, but there have been some really bad losses for teams. I mean, teams that if they hadn't lost that type of game, who knows where they would be. The Yankees against the Red Sox, the 5-2 lead. The Astros have blown two really big games of late.
Yeah, yesterday
three-run leads.
Brutal for them.
Those are the kind of games that when you're desperate and you have to win, it has an emotional just cliff that you go off as a team when you lose that kind of game like these teams have.
2 balls and a strike to count to Addison Russell. Well, a team like Baltimore, who seems to play its way out of the conversation occasionally, really has never gone away altogether. Toronto and Detroit with the 2 wild card spots in the American League as we speak. That is certainly subject to change based on the closeness of that race. We like to schedule watch this time of year and see who's got the toughest road to hoe down the stretch. We know that the Astros are playing only the Angels and Mariners. Seattle plays Minnesota, Houston, and Oakland down the stretch. It misses inside to Russell, and it's 3-2. Zobrist at first with one gone. 3-2 to Addison Russell with Jason Hayward waiting on deck. And a swing and a miss. Alex Reyes reaching back for that 96. Still there when he needs it, and there are 2 away. Quick reminder, today's telecast is sponsored by T-Mobile, bringing you greater coverage of today's game.
Fastball above the hands. Dialed it up.
Here's Jason Hayward now. He's popped out twice today. Reyes starts him with a fastball in for a strike.
Fair or not, this is going to be an interesting conversation as we get closer to the postseason. The handling of Jason Hayward and the choices that Joe Madden will have on his roster come playoff time. It's not been a year that Jason Hayward had expected it would go, or obviously the Cubs. But people will forget a lot if he's able to come up with a few hits at the right time.
I think of particular concern to the Cubs, and this matchup kind of best personifies what I'm about to say. It's Hayward's inability to make consistent contact even with a big fastball, let alone do damage on it. The major league average against a fastball is 277. Jason Hayward's hitting 244 against fastballs this year. Kenny, there are no real good ways to kind of slice up Jason Hayward's year at the plate. However, the Cubs will defend his 2016 season by talking about some of the other things he brings to the team.
That's right, Matt. His defense and his base running, and the players will tell you they want him in the lineup. They love his demeanor. They love what he can do outside of the batter's box. 4th lowest OPS in the majors. That's obviously not good. But what I expect is for the Cubs to start Hayward against right-handers and maybe not against left-handers and then bring him in for defense late. But of their 3 potential first-round opponents, the only one that really has left-handers right now is the Giants.
Strike on the corner, and it's a full count now, 3-2. Yeah, Jason Hayward has been a reverse. His 2016 season, that is, has been a bit of a reversal in terms of the progress you'd thought he'd make. Just 7 home runs, 45 RBIs. Zobrist runs with 2 away, and it's fouled off. And it used to be that, at least at the time he signed that big free agent deal, you could say, all right, Jason Hayward's not going to hit 330 and drive in 130 runs, but you know, you could count on maybe 265 to 280, 15 to 20 home runs and RBIs. And even those seemingly modest numbers, Jason will fall short of.
And that's what you see a lot of right there. A lot of pop-ups.
Alex Reyes gone after 5 innings of work with 115 pitches under his belt and a 6-3 lead.
In banking and baseball, you have to stay alert. With my Bank of America mobile banking app, I can select alerts that notify me when unusual activity is detected on my credit and debit cards. I used to play when I was younger. I love the outfield. All that green grass. Until the championship and the inside the park home run. Sure could have used an alert then. I missed lunch that day.
Viagra single packs. So guys with ED can take Viagra when they need it.
Ask your doctor if your heart is healthy enough for sex. Do not take Viagra if you take nitrates for chest pain or Adempas for pulmonary hypertension. Your blood pressure could drop to an unsafe level. To avoid long-term injury, seek immediate medical help for an erection lasting more than 4 hours. Stop taking Viagra and call your doctor right away if you experience a sudden decrease or loss in vision or hearing.
Ask your doctor about Viagra single packs.
Good or better? The Hyundai Elantra versus the Honda Civic. The Elantra has an available hands-free smart trunk. The Civic doesn't. Hyundai was named #1 in customer loyalty 7 years in a row. Honda wasn't. And only one is backed by America's best warranty.
Hello?
The Hyundai.
What is that? Excuse me?
Better is the reason to buy Hyundai. The 2017 Elantra from Hyundai.
Okay, team, what if 30,000 people download the new app?
We're good.
Okay, what if 1 million people download the new app?
We're good.
5 million?
Good. We scale on demand. Hybrid infrastructure.
Okay, what if 30 million people download the app?
We're not good. We're total heroes.
Scale on demand with the #1 company in cloud infrastructure. Hewlett-Packard Enterprise.
Today's telecast is sponsored by Hyundai and by Falcon Tires, the official tire of Major League Baseball. What a gorgeous afternoon here in Chicago. First Saturday of fall. Folks still enjoying the weather in shorts and T-shirts, as well they should. And a 6-3 Cardinals lead. Mike Matheny visiting with Alex Reyes after 115 pitches through 5. Best guess is that his afternoon is done. Trevor Cahill on the other side of the scorecard, back to work on Randall Grichuk, who has been chief among Chicago's problems today. Grichuk with a 2-run single in the first and an RBI double in the third.
Yeah, the Cardinals have really needed to step up their offense and try to get some momentum down the stretch. Talked about their home run hitting ability, but they've come up with some big hits early in this game. And their pitchers come up with some big outs with runners on to give them that 3-run lead. Now they'll turn it over to their pen.
Cubs overload the left side of the infield. And Grichuk lays off a fastball that stays high. Aledmus Diaz waiting next, and then the pitcher spot. You know, Trevor Cahill came on in the 5th inning, and it kind of reminds us as to where we are on the calendar here in September, where there have been so many pitching changes, and we've talked about that already. With deep bullpens on both sides and throughout the league, managers are quick to pull the trigger. In fact, to the degree that entering the weekend, there have been 9.2 pitchers used per game in September. That is the highest in any full calendar month in Major League history, as Grichuk is rung up for out number 1. And we're going to see more today. Both bullpens are hot. It looks like Alex Reyes will be done for the afternoon.
And that'll get fixed. I really believe that'll get fixed. That's a rule that they'll have to alter come September call-ups with the amount that pitchers you can utilize. It's not fair to the game. You play all year. But I'll tell you, it's also increasing before September at an all-time high. Most pitchers used per game.
Yeah, that's a good point. Aledmus Diaz has struck out and walked today. Trevor Cahill's been a really valuable member of the Cubs staff this year, and Joe Girardi told us something similar as to what Joe Madden has echoed throughout the year last week when he talked about how important it is to have that one guy, that swing man, 1 or 2 if the payroll would allow, a veteran pitcher like Trevor Cahill, the guy that's capable of giving you length. The Yankees have that now in Luis Severino. That was Girardi's example. But a guy that you can go to on back-to-back days, could make a spot start in a pinch, could chew up long innings in a pinch. Cahill's done all that stuff this year.
That's why I think the Cubs have temporarily beat the system of what's been created in baseball. Everyone's gone out to get power arm, power arm, power arm. The health of a power arm we've already seen, very volatile. They went out and got veteran pitchers, but they established their young core players, position players with dynamic picks that they didn't miss on. Then they go out and get a bullpen that can handle anything that's thrown at them. They get starters, turn them into closers or relievers, Wood, Cahill, and the likes of just the effort that they can put forth with their power arms out of the back end and their rotation. Incredible.
Pinch hitter will be Jeremy Hazelbaker, and that's going to be all for Trevor Cahill. Travis Wood enters a pitching change, and we'll be right back.
A car should only be measured by one thing. How it makes you feel. The all-new Infiniti Q60. Infiniti, empower the drive.
I love that my shop is part of the morning ritual around here. People rely on that first cup, and I wouldn't want to mess with that. But when back pain got bad, I couldn't sleep. I had trouble getting there on time. Then I found Aleve PM.
Aleve PM is the only one to combine a safe sleep aid plus the 12-hour strength of Aleve for pain relief that can last into the morning.
Hey guys, now I'm back.
Aleve PM for a better AM.
Happy anniversary dinner, darling. Can this much love be cleaned by a little bit of Dawn Ultra? Oh, yeah. One bottle has the grease cleaning power of 2 bottles of this bargain brand. A drop of Dawn and grease is gone.
How strong is Allegra D?
My congestion's out of my way strong.
Allegra D, a fast, non-drowsy antihistamine plus a powerful decongestant that starts relieving your toughest symptoms in just 1 hour.
It's breathing free for 24 hours strong.
Allegra D.
He struck him out. That right there is as good as it gets. Five, and he makes the catch.
Nobody could do it any better.
Sensational.
The world has got to take notice.
Unstoppable today. Unstoppable today. Unstoppable today. Unbelievable.
Follow live baseball with the MLB.com @BAT app. Stay up to the moment in any moment with game day, live video highlights, StatCast, news, and more. Download MLB.com @BAT, the #1 app for baseball on your phone and tablet. So one change countered with by another. First, Travis Wood called on to work on the mound, making his 74th appearance of the year. He, too, has been invaluable out of Joe Maddon's bullpen this year, not only because he's been great on the mound, but because he can play left field as well, something Maddon's done with him on a couple of occasions this year. And Wood pitches to the pinch hitter as Jeremy Hazelbaker was burned in favor of the right-handed power threat Jed Jerko, who, as you can see, has been on some kind of a home run tear since the midway point of the season.
It's an unbelievable stretch. Started against his former team, the Padres.
Yeah, they have come in bunches for Jed Jerko at San Diego's expense primarily, but I mean, you want Jed Jerko to come alive, just schedule a doubleheader. He has homered in both ends of a doubleheader on multiple occasions this year. Yanks that one foul. Jed Jerko's contributions maybe best personify the interchangeable nature of the 2016 Cardinals lineup. He's hit 5 or more home runs at 3 different infield positions this year. That might sound like no big deal, but before this season, it had only happened a handful of times in Major League history. Cardinals happen to have 2 players on their 2016 roster who have that kind of versatility, because Matt Carpenter has done the same thing this year.
Yeah, they're also out of their mind in pinch hitters this year.
And Jerko waves and misses at strike 3.
Climbs the ladder with the fastball, tries to get it. And does not.
2 gone now for Matt Carpenter.
They were on such a crazy pace. Pinch hit homers, pinch hit average. Still pretty good coming into this game. 329 as a team. That just doesn't seem possible with 15 home runs.
Oh, and 1 the count to Matt Carpenter, who has been held hitless so far today. Back to Wood, who makes a fine play to retire the side. Travis Wood comes out of the Chicago bullpen, strands the 1-out walk, and keeps it a 3-run ball game.
I'm in there as Katie.
I'll call you later. Or no, I won't. I'll text you because what am I, your dad? Don't stay out too late.
Yeah, just text me.
Thank you. Get home safe. This must be what Antonio Brown feels like when he's dancing in the end zone.
Huh. This must be how Lucas felt when he finally got Katie's number.
Pepsi. Sport your fall favorites. Find your style at Men's Warehouse during our fall wardrobe event. Buy one, get one free on great designer looks going on now. Men's Warehouse. Rise to the occasion.
Upgrade season's here. I got my new iPhone 7 from Sprint. $0.
Sprint? I'm hearing good things about the network.
All the networks are great now. We're talking within a 1% difference in reliability of each other. And Sprint saves you 50% on most current national carrier rates. And if you got 1% more haircut than me today, would you really pay twice as much?
No, I wouldn't.
Copy that.
Switch to Sprint. Get the iPhone 7 for $0 with eligible trade-in. Plus save 50% off most current national carrier rates. Don't let a 1% difference cost you twice as much.
Woo!
Lease a 2016 Lincoln MKX for $349 a month, only at your Lincoln dealer.
70 years without a pennant, back to 1908 without a World Series.
The Cubs haven't had a lead this big since 1907.
By far, he's a forward-thinking guy.
What a job he's done this year with the Cubs.
I don't think the Cubs are worried about what everybody else thinks.
This is lightning in a bottle stuff for the Cubs. Unbelievable.
And welcome back to Wrigley Field. Chief among the many sights and notable destinations in Chicago these days. Matt Bowman is the new Cardinal pitcher, and on his first pitch opening the last of the 6th, he gets Jorge Soler to ground to the left side of the infield. And there's 1 gone for the new Cardinal pitcher, rookie right-hander Matt Bowman, making his 55th appearance of the year here this afternoon.
Bowman's got a fastball, slider, and he throws a pretty good changeup. He reminds me of Tim Lincecum in his delivery, the way he goes about throwing his pitches and how he sets up hitters. So maybe he was a fan of Tim Lincecum growing up, because he looks like he's modeled his pitching motion around it.
Yeah, even his stature. Bowman's listed at 6 foot, 175 pounds. Lincecum-esque.
Yeah, maybe not as much as a turn, but everything he does arches the back and utilizes that frame and comes straight over the top right at the hitter.
Counts 0-1 to the catcher Wilson Contreras, who's been held hitless so far this afternoon. St. Louis scored first, and they did so with 4 runs as folks were just settling into their seats in the top of the first inning. The Cubs counterpunched with 2 in the first. St. Louis scored again in the second.
See, when you're bored and you're starter, and you're on the bench, and you're thinking of all different things to do other than the game you're about to pitch.
Right.
You look at the first 3 innings and goes, look, the Cardinals dialed information 411. That used to be the old information, number you would dial. Is there a 210 area code anywhere? I'm sure there might be.
San Antonio, I want to say.
Okay, so they dialed the San Antonio area code. And there hasn't been much since then, but you come up with games like that. You see which area code team's going to go after.
Nice backhanded pick by Diaz. But Contreras beats it out. Close play at first. Mike Matheny waiting to see if he wants to challenge this. It's going to be scored as a single. Man, I can't tell you even looking at it again.
I tell you what, Contreras sure didn't get down the line. I would think.
Is it worth it? Ball's got to be in the back of the glove, remember.
Yeah. Well, this is about as long as you can wait. Typically, you want the team to respond quicker, but I'll let it go.
And Mike Matheny decides not to issue a challenge. So it is an infield single for Wilson Contreras, and now a pinch hitter for Chicago, the veteran left-handed hitting catcher Miguel Montero.
He's swinging the bat a lot better, and they need this guy, I think, to continue a red-hot bat from the left side.
Well, most recently in a start on Wednesday, had a 3-for-5 afternoon. Last week hit a walk-off homer against the Brewers, part of a big September for Montero. It's been his best calendar month of the season. But as you start to guess about postseason roster formulation, I don't know that it guarantees anything there, Kenny. I mean, he is a veteran presence for sure, but there are a lot of options as far as what the Cubs will bring to the division series.
There are, Matt, but I'm guessing he makes it as one of 3 catchers. And the reason for that is the Cubs can go with 11 pitchers. We've seen Wood today and Cahill. They're multi-inning guys. So is Grimm. So they're going to have some choices to make, no question about it. But they also need left-handed hitting. Montero offers them that. So he should be on there.
Back to Bowman to second for 1. And the double play takes care of a scoreless last of the 6th. Still 6-3 Cardinals.
What do you think? Son of Zord premieres tomorrow on Fox.
There's Katie.
I'll call you later. Or no, I won't. I'll text you because what am I, your dad? Don't stay out too late.
Yeah, just text me.
Thank you. Get home safe. This must be what Antonio Brown feels like when he's dancing in the end zone.
Huh. This must be how Lucas felt when he finally got Katie's number.
Pepsi.
You look so good, I almost feel bad eating you. But with juicy chicken bites and a tangy sweet and spicy sauce with world-famous seasoned fries for just $3, the good deals are never safe. The sweet and spicy chicken bites box. Chicken bites and sweet and spicy sauce with fries. Also available in classic or buffalo for just $3. Checkers and Rallies. Fast foodies know the deal.
One day this Saturday, September 24th, all 3 Green stores hosting the Quad City Giant Green Garage Sale. Independent used car buyers and Kelly Blue Book representatives are on site. All competing to get you the most money for your trade. You are guaranteed to get the highest trade amount possible. These reps are experts who know the market and are willing to give you more than you ever thought possible for your vehicle. Choose from over 1,500 vehicles. Deeply discounted. Everything is on sale. One day only, the 24th, at the Green Family of Dealers Garage Sale. Your discount destination. Green, gotta go to Green.
5 nights a week, things are gonna get messy.
Best friends, you are my very best friend. Seriously, it's like the best time ever.
just how we like it.
Weeknights at 5:30 and 11:30 on Fox 18.
Mike and Molly has moved.
I'm moving. I'm moving!
Mike and Molly.
College football kicks off tonight with a Big 12 showdown as Oklahoma State faces number 16 Baylor at 7 Eastern on Fox, or watch it live on Fox Sports Go.
Touchdown's going to be hard to come by in that game.
What?
Exactly the opposite. Run and shoot everything. Yeah. It won't be boring.
Hector Rondon inserted in by the Cubs to work the 7th. In the pre-Aroldis Chapman-looking Cubs, he was the closer before the trade deadline. And then some health issues landed him on the shelf for about a month. A right tricep strain cost him a month between early August and early September. He is still, according to Joe Madden, looking for opportunities to kind of straighten himself out down the stretch here before postseason time arrives.
Yeah, these next 7 days will be great for him. And you think about Strope and the ability for them to shorten a game. This is a huge part of their club if they can get Rondon back the form he was before they got Chapman.
A ball and 2 strikes on Stephen Piscotty, leading things off in the visitors' half of the 7th. Piscotty has contributed today. Back in the 2nd, a 2-out solo home run against Jason Hamill, his 22nd of the year. As we show you all the requisite numbers courtesy of StatCast, powered by Amazon Web Services.
450 feet. And the ball was thrown in at 265 feet from Waveland Avenue.
I think, by the way, we have that captured on tape. There it is.
All right, maybe 195 feet.
A bouncer back up the middle and through. Stephen Piscotty's aboard on his 2nd hit of the game, trying for 2. And he'll get in there well in advance of an errant throw. I think Piscotty caught everybody off balance there, especially Soler and Fowler in the outfield.
Yeah, it used to be about 5'10", more like 10 years ago. This ball and the old surface would have never even gotten that far. That's how thick the grass was. But he knew as soon as he hit this, he had 2 in mind. And it was in a perfect angle between the left fielder and the center fielder, as you see right here. They reacted a little slowly to get into the ball. But Piscotty did not hesitate at all. I'm telling you, back in the day, that was the #1 thing every coach told you. If you get a base hit to any fielder, the grass was so thick that they were picking it up. And you had to take the extra bases. The infield grass was so thick when Maddox was pitching here. It just swallowed up baseballs. It's a lot different today than it was back then.
It scored as a double for Stephen Piscotty. He's in scoring position with nobody out for Brandon Moss, who has walked in 3 trips to the plate today. We talked about Moss's September struggles. They go back a little farther than that, but they have been most pronounced in the season's final month. He's 5 for his last 72. That's over a 21-game stretch, hitting about 60 cents. But Brandon Moss is the kind of hitter, again, who can find it with 1 swing of the bat. Go back to his all-star season of 2014. He got into the break in great shape. But something happened after the all-star break, and the power just disappeared. Second half of the season, he hit $1.73 with 4 home runs. So the Oakland A's, his employer back then, weren't quite sure what they were going to get in their wild card matchup against the eventual league champion Kansas City Royals. Brandon Moss got there as cold as anybody in baseball. He went on to hit 2 huge home runs in that wild card game, including a late 3-run shot that made it look like Oakland was going to go on to the division series. We all know the rest of the story. Kansas City came back and went on a magical postseason run. But the Cardinals are hoping for that same kind of lightning in a bottle from Moss down the stretch this year. Still 2-2.
The timing of all these guys, just some of the ones that are struggling, if they can wake up in time and at least put themselves in the playoffs, I think they're so dangerous. Not because the pedigree warrants that they're going to win every big game they play. That's not the case. It's just the mindset that they have with their rival Cubs, and in a one-game playoff with the opportunity to advance with not a lot to lose if you think about it. Last year the Cardinals had everything to lose. They won 100 games despite their limping into the playoffs because of their injuries. They went in as favorites. The Cubs were able to knock them off. Cubs ran out of gas against the red-hot Mets pitching staff. It could actually work the other way if the Cardinals get in. The Cubs are going to be the team that wins over 100 games this year.
Moss grounds it into the shift. Rizzo flags it down. A great play. And Piscotty's held at third. Rizzo preventing a run from scoring for the time being. Well, talking about the Cardinals and their postseason hopes, a half game out of the wild card race at the start of play today. Again, New York and San Francisco playing later on tonight. The Giants are in San Diego. The Mets are home with the Phillies. There is that chance that the regular season could end a week from tomorrow in the dreaded three-way tie.
Oh, it's not dreaded. I've been dreaming of this.
Snap throw down to third. Close, but Piscotty's back.
Dreaming of this scenario, man.
Yeah, the schedule maker's nightmare. Something John Smoltz has been privately rooting for the last 3 years. A ball and no strikes to Johnny Peralta, who's sitting on a 3-for-3 afternoon so far. So if it ends in a three-way tie, again, only two of those teams can go to the wild card. How do they determine what happens? Well, there is a formula.
Home run hitting competition.
Oh, wouldn't that be fun? No, teams are designated A, B, and C based on their head-to-head record. So B would play at A. The winner gets the first wild card, and then the loser of that one plays C for the second wild card. Now, which team is which, you might ask? The Cardinals won the season series with San Francisco. The Mets have won the season series against the Giants, and the Cardinals and Mets split their 6-game series. So with no more games remaining between any of these teams, the Cardinals at 7-6 are A. The Mets at 7-6 are B. The Giants are club C. So if it's a three-way tie.
So golf handicap has nothing to do with this.
No.
You don't go to your golf handicap.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
If it's a three-way tie, as we saw earlier, B plays at A. So that means the Mets play in St. Louis. The Giants are club C. Got it? The loser plays there. I know, it's ridiculous, right? I mean,
but that's all well and good. I want to see a three-way playoff for just one spot. That's what I want to see.
Oh man, here it is again. So we'll fill in the A, B, and C. The Cardinals and Mets. The Cardinals are A. The Mets are B. The Giants are C. Based on head-to-head record. Runners at first and third now for Matt Adams.
Anything but the ball on the ground for Matt Adams. I'm sure that's kind of what he's looking for, a pitch that he can elevate. Reverse for Rondon. Try to get it down.
Oh, 0-2.
Well, Bumgarner goes today for the Giants, so if you're a Giants fan, you got to feel like at least the edge on the bump is going to your team. Now, whether or not you can score some runs, which they haven't been doing lately. Problem is, Cueto may not make his start. And the Mets, With all the Scotch tape and everything they've put together.
It's been an amazing story there. This was supposed to be Noah Syndergaard's night. He's sick. I mean, what else for the Mets, right? Surgeries. I mean, you're talking about elbows and shoulders and thoracic outlet syndrome in the case of Matt Harvey. And today, Sean Gilmartin will make another spot start, another emergency start for the ailing Noah Syndergaard, who's got strep throat. A ball and 2 strikes to Adams.
Well, if you believe in schedules, the Mets schedule lines up pretty good for them.
Just in terms of strength of opponent? Is that what you're talking about?
But if you're one of those teams, like the recent series against the Braves, who have gotten hot lately, that didn't bode well for the Mets.
Yeah.
They got swept at home.
Yeah, these are not the same Braves that in April, May, and June looked like they would set an all-time futility record. They played a lot better since the break. Adams sprays a drive into left center field. Piscotty comes around to score. On his way to third is Peralta.
And the usually good defensive club by the Cubs not going to make Joe Madden happy with that throw being thrown in, allowing the not fleet-footed Matt Adams to go to second base. This throw needs to come into second base and prevent Matt from going to second. But we watch this ball just kind of in the same area we've seen. Soler gets the ball but doesn't go to second. He's throwing the ball the wrong place.
So credit Matt Adams with an RBI double. He will be pinch run for as Tommy Pham enters at second base, and the Cubs will bring the infield in now for Yadi Molina, who's in the midst of a 2-for-3 afternoon with a pair of RBIs.
And doesn't see a first pitch that he doesn't like. That one out of the zone, up.
Cardinals have matched their biggest advantage of the day after they scored 4 in the top of the first. Back out to a 4-run lead courtesy of the RBI Matt Adams double here. Still 0-2.
So you see Adams coming out of the box. He knows he's got a base hit, but now he's watching as the outfielder takes the ball. Now see, he turned it on right there. Once he realizes that goes to shortstop, that puts Matt Adams at second when he shouldn't be.
Cardinals have a big opportunity here to deliver a knockout blow. Their hottest hitter waiting on deck, Yadi Molina, with 2 runners aboard. The 0-2 pitch home to him is through the hole. What little hole there was, on into left field. Both runs score, and it's a 9-3 ball game.
By Adams getting a second, that kept the Cubs out of a double play situation. And that's going to be it for Rendon. But Molina, their hottest hitter of late, has delivered again.
There was 0 real estate on the left side of the infield between Russell and Bryant.
Pham had to do a nice job avoiding Russell and Bryant as he was rounding.
Everything going the Cardinals' way at Wrigley this afternoon.
Good or better? The Hyundai Tucson versus the Ford Escape. Estimated fueling costs. The Ford's higher. Estimated routine repairs. and the Ford's higher.
What's happening?
In fact,
Guys?
Hyundai has the lowest 5-year cost to own of all brands for 2016. So again, Ford's higher.
Guys?
That's really high.
Very funny.
Better is the reason to buy Hyundai. The 2016 Tucson from Hyundai.
I love that my shop is part of the morning ritual around here. People rely on that first cup, and I wouldn't want to mess with that. But when back pain got bad, I couldn't sleep. I had trouble getting there on time. Then I found Aleve PM.
Aleve PM is the only one to combine a safe sleep aid plus the 12-hour strength of Aleve for pain relief that can last into the morning.
Hey guys, now I'm back.
Aleve PM for a better AM.
Is that iced tea?
Nope, it's lemonade.
Is that iced tea?
Lemonade.
Iced tea?
What's with these people, man? Lemonade. Read the sign. Lemonade. Read it.
Okay.
Delicious.
Iced tea at a lemonade stand? Surprising. What's not surprising? How much money Marin saved by switching to Geico.
No iced tea. It's lemonade, man.
15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
The postseason begins October 4th with the AL wildcard game on TBS, and then the following night, the NL wildcard game on ESPN. Then October 7th, the National League Division Series begins on FS1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go.
Well, here you see it. There's the hit, splits the defenders, and then Pham's got to avoid him on his way to going home. A little step over right here. Good enough speed to take him all the way back to home plate.
3-run inning for St. Louis here in the 7th. They are enjoying their biggest lead of the day, and it has forced the Cubs to the bullpen yet again. Their 4th reliever of the game is rookie right-hander Felix Pena.
Felix Pena, of course, you saw the numbers, not a lot of experience, kind of set up like Pedro Strop. But as the next few games go on, Joe Maddon will have, as we mentioned earlier, more of a strategic approach to his bullpen and his starters, how much time they spend in the game.
Quickly in front of Randall Grichuk, 0-2.
You can't help but think, though, if you're, Bryant, Rizzo, and all the talks around the MVP and trying to finish as strong as you can, Lester, Hendricks, competing for the Cy Young.
And that one hits him. 0-2 pitcher just got away from the rookie right-hander, and Grichuk's aboard. Well, on those days, and you talk about, two guys in play for the Cy Young Award in Kyle Hendricks and John Lester. On those days, the intensity's going to be there.
Exactly.
For the very reason that you mentioned.
Exactly.
It's the other days that I think Joe Maddon knows he has to do a little bit more quote-unquote managing.
Yeah, and he said he's never been in this spot. He's been in a place where it's a lot easier when each and every day means something, right? They're going to look at this to make sure that that's exactly what happened. But I think for the Cubs, and it's just natural for your mind, like, we made it. We pushed all year. We got to this point. Man, the playoffs can't get here fast enough. You got a chance to get your little dinged up injuries healed up, but the mindset of a player, and especially a position player, if you don't stay locked in, it's difficult to turn it on and off.
Hey, by the way, I don't think that pitch hit Randall Grichuk at all.
He didn't react.
I think that came off of Contreras' glove in such a way that it looked like it hit Grichuk.
Hit the bat, huh?
It was either the bat or it hit Contreras' glove. I don't think it hit Grichuk at all.
Grichuk was just doing what the umpire said.
Yeah, and now we see there's the cheeky smile.
I think it might have nicked the end of the bat to the glove, so
yeah, they're sending him back.
Well,
so it'll be an 0-2 count once again.
In the wild card era, we talked about 3 of the last 4 National League teams that went on to win the wild card, went on to win that next series. That's how much that momentum could be part of the 4 or 5 days off that the host team, in this case the Cubs, get to wait to play somebody.
0-1. 0-1 the count to Randall Grichuk. Well, it was 0-2. Doggone it. Had it right the first time. Swing and a miss. And there are 2 away. So now Aledmys Diaz. You know, getting back to your point on how difficult it is on the team that is the first to clinch, and one that does so with so much schedule left as the Cubs have this year. They clinched the division on September 15th. And in the wild card era, the first to clinch team has not been guaranteed the success that you might think. Only 3 teams in the 21 seasons in that era have gone on to win the World Series. Last year's Royals, the Giants in 2012, and the Yankees in '98.
And we just don't punish the other team enough. That's simply put. And baseball's not played to have 5 days off, especially when you've done this work to get the best team in baseball. So too many days off, not enough games. We love the 1-game playoff as far as the excitement of it, but you're not punishing that team as much as we originally thought when it was like, oh, they'll have to use one of their best pitchers to get through that game. Well, as we've seen, there was a day off after the season, then the wild card, then another day off, and it's not punishing them as much. So I just think that system of the playoffs has to change if we want to reward the teams that have been the best throughout the year. Period. We got to get there.
Ball and 2 strikes the count to Aledmys Diaz. Well, what would you do? I mean,
you just don't have the days off. We travel and get in at 2. You know, you get in at 2 in the morning anyways in a regular season game. And we always talk about the nationally televised games or Sunday nights or anything. You deal with that. You just have to make the other team play continuously.
And Diaz bounces it to shortstop for Addison Russell. That'll put an end to the inning. Hey, one of the things to watch is coming up next, because Dexter Fowler has singled, doubled, and tripled today. A cycle bid as we go to the bottom half of the 7th.
DS Virgin Racing entered Formula E because we thought it was the best way to accelerate the development of electric vehicle technology. Hewlett-Packard Enterprise is the perfect teammate because they have the data analytics platform to help us win today, and IT solutions that help create a more sustainable world by using up to 65% less energy than comparable servers. So everybody wins tomorrow.
Hewlett-Packard Enterprise. Accelerating next.
Gray skies are gonna clear up. Put on a happy face. Brush off the clouds and cheer up. Put on a happy face.
When a moment turns romantic, why pause to take a pill? Or stop to find a bathroom? Cialis for daily use is approved to treat both erectile dysfunction and the urinary symptoms of BPH, like needing to go frequently, day or night. Tell your doctor about all your medical conditions and medicines and ask if your heart is healthy enough for sex. Do not take Cialis if you take nitrates for chest pain or Adempus for pulmonary hypertension, as it may cause an unsafe drop in blood pressure. Do not drink alcohol in excess. Side effects may include headache, upset stomach, delayed backache, or muscle ache. To avoid long-term injury, get medical help right away for an erection lasting more than 4 hours. If you have any sudden decrease or loss in hearing or vision, or any symptoms of an allergic reaction, stop taking Cialis and get medical help right away. Ask your doctor about Cialis and a $200 savings card.
If this is what you think a Mercedes-Benz for under $33,000 looks like, think again. And again. The 2017 CLA and GLA, both starting at under $33,000. Mercedes-Benz, the best or nothing.
Welcome back. Hey, let's walk you through Dexter Fowler's day. It started with a single in the first. He'd later score a run. Then in the second, an RBI double. And it got more interesting in the fourth when, with 2 away, he tripled against Alex Reyes. In order: single, double, triple. And in what could be his final plate appearance, but if I'm a guessing man, I'd say he'd have one more after this.
Yep.
He's got a chance at the quote-unquote natural cycle. Matt Bowman continues on the mound for St. Louis. A couple of changes defensively behind him. Brandon Moss moves from left to first base. And Matt Adams, who was pinch run for, schedules out. Tommy Pham takes over in left.
And the catchers are getting beat up today. A lot of foul balls catching their equipment and certain parts of their body.
And it's 0-2 to Dexter Fowler. Did you ever face a guy who was either a home run or a hit shy of a cycle? I mean, as a closer, do you ever recall being out there?
Yeah, I wouldn't. I'd be too involved in the game to know if that particular player was in line for something. As a starter, I can't even remember if it came into play, to be honest with you.
Still 0-2 the count to Fowler.
Usually if that's happening, I don't think the starter sticks around.
And a swing and a miss. He may have one more chance still. Well, if you're wondering, the last Cubs cycle, our friend Mark Grace back in May of 1993, the Padres were here at Wrigley Field.
Now, that would have been funny if he'd have shown my pitching against him. Not having any recollection. And oh, by the way, he did it against you, John.
Well, the first 3 hits came against the same starter. And then he got the home run against the left-hander out of the bullpen. So 1 away. And again, Fowler may have another opportunity still this afternoon. Chris Bryant, the batter, he has walked in 3 trips to the plate. The last quote-unquote natural cycle for a Cubs hitter was Billy Williams back in 1966. The Hall of Famer did it against the St. Louis Cardinals. That is to say, in order: single, double, triple, home run. Don't get me wrong. There's no real value to hitting for the cycle. It's just kind of cool.
It's really cool.
And beyond the monster contribution, the monster total base contribution for the day, a wave and a miss by Bryant, who's having kind of a rough go of it today. 2 away. Reminder, today's telecast is sponsored by Michelob Ultra, brewed for those who go the extra mile. And by Cialis.
Well, Bryant really has cooled down. September, coming into this game, he was hitting .235 as opposed to June and August .323. So they'd like nothing more than maybe even a day off or 2 next week and then get him geared back up, swinging the way you want.
Javier Baez is the pinch hitter, batting in Anthony Rizzo's spot in the order. Remains to be seen how the Cubs will realign defensively without Rizzo, who's been out there for just about every inning this year. Dribbler up the third base line for Peralta. Throw is picked out nicely by Brandon Moss, and Matt Bowman has faced the minimum through 6.
Anyone with type 2 diabetes knows how it feels to see your numbers go up, despite your best efforts. But what if you could turn things around? What if you could love your numbers? Discover once daily Invokana. It's the #1 prescribed SGLT2 inhibitor that works to lower A1C. A pill taken just once in the morning, Invokana is used along with diet and exercise to significantly lower blood sugar in adults with type 2 diabetes. In fact, it's been proven to be more effective at lowering A1C than Januvia. Invokana works around the clock by reducing the amount of sugar allowed back into the body and sending some sugar out through the process of urination. And while it's not for lowering systolic blood pressure or weight loss, it may help you with both. Invokana can cause important side effects, including dehydration, which may cause you to feel dizzy, faint, lightheaded, or weak upon standing. Other side effects may include kidney problems, genital yeast infections, changes in urination, high potassium, increases in cholesterol, risk of bone fracture, or urinary tract infections, possibly serious. Serious side effects may include ketoacidosis, which can be life-threatening. Stop taking and call your doctor right away if you experience symptoms, or if you experience symptoms of allergic reaction, such as rash, swelling, or difficulty breathing or swallowing. Do not take Invokana if you have severe liver or kidney problems or are on dialysis. Tell your doctor about any medical conditions and medications you take. Using Invokana with the sulfonylurea or insulin may cause low blood sugar. It's time to turn things around. Lower your blood sugar with Invokana. Imagine loving your numbers. There's only one Invokana. Ask your doctor about it by name.
It's our buy one, get one free sale on almost everything in the store. Now all Traveler and 1905 suits are just $249, and all dress shirts are 2 for $89. Plus, all shoes are buy one, get one 50% off. Only at Joseph A. Bank.
Well, Javi Baez will continue. He'll go out there at shortstop in the midst of some wholesale changes by the Cubs to start the 8th, despite landing awkwardly at the bag to end the 7th.
Yeah, hustling pretty much down the line and just got his steps just a little off. See the foot getting the base and then maybe just a little bit of a hiccup there with the knee.
So some changes afoot. We have a new pitcher on the mound for the Cubs. Joe Madden has gone to the bullpen now on 5 occasions. Rob Zastrinzi takes over on the mound for Chicago. Making his 7th appearance out of the bullpen. And a pinch hitter will face him. Jose Martinez bats to lead off the visitors' 8th. And it is starting to look more and more like a Cactus League game all the time.
I was just getting ready to say, you know, he's done a nice job for the Cubs. He's filled in some pretty nice spots. Sneaky quick. Saw a breaking ball right there. Nothing overpowering, but he just pitches.
Zastrinzi misses the corner. Zastrinzi came up on August 19th from AAA Iowa. Put together a pretty good season between AA Tennessee and AAA Iowa this year. One of the 13 relievers available in the Cubs bullpen, 4 left-handers.
13.
Into the corner. That's a fair ball and extra bases for Jose Martinez. Well, here are the rest of the changes for Chicago defensively here in the 8th. Matt Caesar takes over in right. Munenori Kawasaki at second. Chris Coughlin at first. And we've already set the new pitcher and shortstop. Can bet Dexter Fowler's not coming out of this game. We'll have another chance to try to complete the cycle. Here's Matt Carpenter now back to the top of the order. Carpenter, the only Cardinal starter not to have reached base today. The only other game in progress on this Saturday afternoon, almost all the activity at night aside from this one here at Wrigley, and the Royals and Tigers, who are now in the 7th inning with Detroit still on top 4-2. Detroit started the day with the second of the 2 American League wildcard spots. In terms of the National League wildcard, the Giants later on tonight in San Diego. Mets hosting the Phillies at home. And the Cardinals, if they can hang on to win this one, at least for the moment, create a 3-way tie, picking up a half game on the rest of the field. Wave and a miss by Carpenter.
You go through stretches of time where you just don't pick up the ball real well or don't see it, and Carpenter might be in one of those. Last 30 games has been not typical of what we've seen Carpenter be for the Cardinals. And a 235 clip coming in, and again, it only takes a couple at bats to turn that around, but when you're in a funk, it just, I wish the timing were earlier in the year.
Fades a fly ball into right. Soler circling under it and making the catch for out number 1. Speaking of Detroit and Kansas City, let's get an update from Ryan Field in Los Angeles.
Yeah, Matt, some insurance runs for the Tigers courtesy of J.D. Martinez. Bottom 6 RBI single, his second of the afternoon. Tigers now up 4-2 that game in the bottom of the 7th, looking for their 6th straight win. Matt, back to you.
Yeah, the Tigers getting kind of sneaky hot down the stretch here.
They are, and they have that unique part of their schedule where they end the season outside their division and in interleague play. Taking on the Braves. Final 3 games of the year.
Man, that just doesn't seem right for one team in contention to be out of the division like that. Is that a home series?
For the Braves. They're on the road. Yeah, the Tigers are on the road. One reason I know that is because I'll be attempting to throw out the first pitch of the final game at Turner Field.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Myself and Glavin. I don't know if Maddox is making it or not. But I'll be honest. I'm not going there cold. I'll be doing some practicing.
Well, I know how competitive you are,
and it frustrates me when whoever they have catching that pitch, stand up, do not squat. That's not good recipe for me, because I'll be throwing it from the the mound area unless all 3 of us go in front. I'll just throw it straight in the dirt. I know I will.
Has Maddox already reached out to Eddie Perez to see if he'll come back and catch that for him?
But that's what the Tigers have. They have the final 3 games for Atlanta, in Atlanta. Major playoff implications, I'm sure, at that point for the Tigers.
Ball and 2 strikes to Stephen Piscotty. Brandon Moss waiting next. Yeah, the Tigers with the second wild card spot. I want to correct what I said earlier regarding the National League race. If the Cardinals hang on to win this one, they'd pull into a tie with the Giants for the second wild card spot. Mets lead St. Louis by a game and a half for the top position. So unlike what's happening in the American League, all the National League wild card suitors end the season within their respective divisions.
Yeah, and the key there is they're both with the same losses, right? So St. Louis is going to play that extra game to determine the difference in that half game that you see right now.
Piscotty dumps a pitch into left center field. Another base hit for the Cardinal right fielder, and another run as Martinez comes around to score, making it a 10-3 ball game.
You see the schedule right there, and that's where St. Louis and Pittsburgh is not mathematically out, by the way. They're still at the heels if they can do some damage down the stretch. I don't think they can lose but 1 or 2 games, if that, but that'll be a big series against the Pirates. If they're still having any hope, let's say they got to sweep the Cardinals.
Ball and no strikes to Brandon Moss, who has walked in 4 trips to the plate today. You know, with the way the schedule laid out on opening day, and Joe Madden shared this with us earlier today, he was fully expecting the end of September to be that schedule gauntlet.
Yeah.
He had the Cardinals and Pirates down the stretch, and knowing what we knew from the NL Central last year, you expected there to be kind of a three-way logjam with those clubs. It's into center field for Fowler and 2 away. He admitted to us that as much as he knew he had a good team this year in spring training, he didn't think that he'd be in this position, having mathematically clinched as early as they did to make these interdivision games as meaningless as they are.
Well, with the exception only one time during the season where the Cubs looked human, they've dominated baseball. That one stretch around the All-Star break where they lost a bunch of games. Their starters had a couple uncharacteristic starts, and they looked tired a little bit before the break. I think the break rejuvenated them. In the second half, they just came out smoking.
Ball and no strikes to Johnny Peralta. Yeah, Kenny, we can bring you in on this, because for a manager who leaves very little to chance, he's had to kind of redo his plans on the fly based on how much better the Cubs were than anybody thought.
He has, Matt. But the good news is they've been able to rest players all season long. Limit their starters. They've gone to a 6-man rotation late in the season. Hold their innings down. So I would expect that, at least from a freshness standpoint, they'll be fresh. Now, he's going to have to do some things during that 4-day layoff between the end of the season and the start of the division series as well. But the plan is day after the season, day off. That Tuesday, simulated game, then workouts the next 2. And this is a competitive group. They like playing. They like winning. I don't expect them to let down.
High fly ball for Coughlin off the first base bag to retire the side. One more, and the Cardinals half of the 8th. To the bottom of the inning. All St. Louis at Wrigley Field today.
Upgrade season's here. I got my new iPhone 7 from Sprint. $0.
Sprint? I'm hearing good things about the network.
All the networks are great now. We're talking within a 1% difference in reliability of each other. And Sprint saves you 50% on most current national carrier rates. And if you got 1% more haircut than me today, would you really pay twice as much?
No, I wouldn't.
Copy that.
Switch to Sprint. Get the iPhone 7 for $0 with eligible trade-in. Plus save 50% off most current national carrier rates. Don't let a 1% difference cost you twice as much.
Woo! I overpack, but my guy knows what to bring. Like Viagra single packs for ED.
Ask your doctor if your heart is healthy enough for sex. Do not take Viagra if you take nitrates for chest pain or Adempas for pulmonary hypertension. Your blood pressure could drop to an unsafe level. To avoid long-term injury, seek immediate medical help for an erection lasting more than 4 hours. Stop taking Viagra and call your doctor right away if you experience a sudden decrease or loss in vision or hearing.
Ask your doctor about Viagra single packs.
The exhilarating 2017 Lincoln MKZ for $349 a month, only at your Lincoln dealer.
Yeah, just text me.
You're gonna get a text.
This must be what Antonio Brown feels like in the end zone.
This must be how Lucas felt when he got KD's number.
Pepsi.
This week only, don't order Domino's over the phone. Order online.
This week only, order any pizza online at menu price and get the second one free when you carry out.
Today's telecast is sponsored by Domino's. Order online and track your order. And by the Lincoln Motor Company and the exhilarating new Lincoln MKZ. Aerial coverage brought to you by DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you got to get DirecTV. Call 1-800-DirecTV.
You ever been in a blimp?
No.
I think I would enjoy that. I don't have many bucket list things. I want to get in a blimp.
Yeah, it's not for me.
Well, the conditions are got to be right. So, I mean, you know, you're not going into a blimp when it's 30-mile-an-hour winds.
I don't even like being in third-floor apartments. Some changes defensively for the Cardinals as Zach Duke, the veteran left-hander, takes over on the mound. Carson Kelly will catch the remainder, and Greg Garcia takes over at shortstop. Chance with a big late lead to get Aledmus Diaz and Yadi Molina, who've dealt with some nagging injuries this year. Diaz in particular off their feet here for the remainder of this day. Chris Coughlin leads it off for the Cubs. Coughlin, Caesar, and Kawasaki here in the Chicago half of the 8th.
Duke's kind of revived his career now in the bullpen. Drop down, sidearm delivery's been real funky. Remember him as a starter, more conventional pitcher.
Tough matchup for Chris Coughlin. He sends a ball out to center. Grichuk parks in front of it, and there's one away.
Yeah, good luck getting it out of center field at Wrigley Field with any kind of wind blowing in. That's the one part of the ballpark that the wind's going to have its way with any ball that's hit in the air.
So one gone now for Matt Caesar. Caesar would be among those players that Joe Madden wants to get some opportunities for down the stretch here. It was 3 for his last 36. And you wonder what kind of role he would play in the formulation of a postseason roster. There just aren't enough spots to take everybody.
No, there's not, but a lot of good choices for Joe Madden and the Cubs. And from series to series, you can change your roster. Right now, the only thing the Cubs are concerned about is trying to get one guy on base and avoid the double play. That'll give.
That's right. That's right.
That'll give Fowler another at bat.
That's Albert Almora Jr., who would also be an outfielder vying for some consideration. Called strike 3, taken by Caesar. Here's Munenori Kawasaki now. Kawasaki was a September call-up. His 3rd stint of the season came on September 6th.
Tell in spring training, this team had a lot of fun with this young man. He's high energy, plays some defense, maybe struggles offensively a little bit. They Cubs do not lack the fun factor.
Yeah, Kawasaki has been that guy that's brought a fun factor everywhere he's gone. And to your point, he's not going to hit many home runs. He might not hit the gap very often, but he's versatile, and his teammates everywhere he has gone love this guy. Broke in with Seattle back in 2012. Time with the Blue Jays. A swing and a miss from him here. And it's a quick 8th for Zach Duke. On to the 9th. Still 10-3 St. Louis.
In our quest to reach our greatest heights, we require focus, resolve, and the ability to grip the moment. For it is in these moments that we define ourselves by our determination to never let go. Falcon Tires, the official tire of Major League Baseball.
Hey, it's been crazy with school being back, so we are constantly going over our data limit.
Oh, well, now all our new plans come with no data overages.
Wow, no more overages?
So that means...
Go on, say it.
We'll finally be in control.
And we're back.
Introducing new AT&T plans with no data overage charges.
A car should only be measured by one thing. How it makes you feel. the all-new Infiniti Q60. Infiniti, empower the drive.
What's cooking, Chief? We gotta ship this oil portrait to the law office of Carver and Sons in Philadelphia.
When the unexpected strikes, will you be ready? Join the over 1 million small businesses who trust the Hartford to help them stay in business.
After 162 games, the only thing that matters now is October.
Today's Budweiser game summary. The Cardinals scored 4 times in the top half of the first inning and really have not looked back, enjoying a 10-3 lead currently. Among the big contributors on the St. Louis side, Yadi Molina with 4 runs batted in. Randall Grichuk is driven in 3. Alex Reyes with a successful 5-inning start today, benefited from a lot of offense. And the Cardinals trying to stay in that wild card picture with a win to force a tie for the moment with San Francisco, who plays a little bit later on tonight. Spencer Patton is the 7th Cub to pitch in this one. He'll work here in the 9th and get Tommy Pham to start things out for St. Louis. Pham, Kelly, and Grichuk here for the Cardinals on top 7-3. Spencer Patton has been up and down between the big league club and AAA Iowa 4 times this year as he gets Pham looking. There's one away.
Yeah, he's along with a lot of other pitchers on this club. Sneaky quick fastball. Slider has good break. Changeup acts more like a 2-seamer. Getting a chance to see almost the whole roster today.
Here's the catcher. Carson Kelly took over behind the plate for Yadi Molina an inning ago. What was it that Buck Showalter was telling us earlier this week in Baltimore, talking about how when you're going to play this game with middle relievers, you have to make sure you have enough guys with options in order for you to manage the innings. And that throw from Baez goes bad at first base. Kelly's aboard.
Yeah, and what that means basically is you're going to have guys that can go up and down and take the grunt off of most of the guys that don't have options and can't deal with those innings. There's not setup guys, or I should say long guys anymore in the game. There's not that 6th starter that could be valuable in the bullpen. Baseball has gone away from, for a lot of reasons, those type players that were invaluable, that ate up those innings, that maybe in a 6-run game, was able to keep it fairly without it getting embarrassing and having a position player come in and pitch. But those days are gone, and that's what baseball suffers from, I think, sometimes, is because these short stints and sprints that relievers are having to eat up so many innings.
And I think those players have quote unquote gone away for the reason we touched on, in that, why would you, if you're a general manager, why would you feel like you had to extend yourself financially for a guy who's got an ERA in the mid-4s, whose role is going to be that you just described, when you can utilize younger players with options, guys like Spencer Patton? You can drop him up, drop him down, bring him up, manage the innings flow in your bullpen, your major league bullpen, by using guys that are between that AAA and big league shuttle all the time.
Yeah, the only problem I see with that is in short stints, it's okay. It's just not sustainable. You can't do that year in and year out. You see the shelf life of clubs be able to get away with it for only so long. If your starters don't eat innings, it's going to show the wear and tear on your ball club, no matter what you try to do. The Yankees were really good the last couple of years doing that with the amount of pitchers they brought up and down. But you're talking about 32 to 36 pitchers a year then. That is a tough gig when you're having to get through a season. Now, what the Cubs have been banking on is a veteran presence of their starters. They have an outside chance. Today hurt. Hamill only going 3 to get 1,000 innings out of their rotation, which is a goal of Joe Maddon's every time he steps into a baseball campaign. And by numbers alone, just clubs don't reach that anymore. Right. They don't get to that number.
Well, that is among the things that has gone so well for the Cubs this year. They've enjoyed a clean bill of health in their starting rotation. Little DL stint by John Lackey, one of the rare exceptions. Joe Maddon spread out his rotation to a 6-man group by design around the midway point. And a wave and a miss by Grichuk.
But the other point that I keep making is we're so quick to do that we don't have the patience to develop a pitcher. So if he doesn't have quite what it takes coming out of the shell, they throw him right into the pen because of his arm. And you're missing out, I think, on some dynamic studs in the rotation. We've just devalued the role of starters and put more emphasis on velocity and short-term results. In other words, spring training like games where you're seeing an average 10 to 11 pitchers per game on some occasions between the two teams.
Here's Greg Garcia's first plate appearance of the day. Yeah, spring training or September. I mean, I get back to that Red Sox Blue Jays game the first Sunday of September
18.
Where there were 18 pitchers used in a 9-inning game.
Yeah, that's got to be the driving force if you're up for seeing that to change. That cannot be the norm. Think about playing 5 months of your season, competing with one set of rules, and then the most important, crucial month down the stretch, you're facing teams that could throw 5-6 left-handers at you if they want because of the call-ups. Or how about even just the utilization now? They're training guys to run, become professional pinch runners.
Yeah.
At that time of the year where they maybe can't hit. I mean, Gore comes to mind for the Kansas City Royals, and that's unbelievable, the role that he was able to produce for them.
It seems Charlie Finley was onto something in the 70s with the likes of Herb Washington and Matt the Scat Alexander. You had a guy that you could come up, run, pinch run, try to steal a base, at the very worst score from first base on an extra base hit, and that's your role on the roster. Garcia slaps it to third. That's a foul ball. All the unstoppable drama of the 2016 postseason begins on October 4th. Go to MLB.com/postseason for a complete schedule. Soon Hwang Oh is up in the bullpen for St. Louis. You saw him earlier. Well, he's been outstanding ever since being installed in that closer's role for the Cardinals. And a base hit into right field. So runners at first and second with two gone. And with the pinch hitter digging in with 2 out and 2 on, we take a look at tomorrow's series finale matchup. John Lester looking for winner number 19 on the season, and Carlos Martinez, who has been the Cardinals' most consistent starter all year at 15-8.
That's a good one tomorrow night. That is going to be, runs may not come at the rate they came today, that's for sure. John Lester's locked in. He's got his eyes on the prize of not only the postseason, but he'd like to bank a Cy Young award, and it's between him and Scherzer and Hendricks. If you ask me, Hendricks, just an incredible year. Consistent all year. They just didn't give him the amount of runs that they've given all the other pitchers.
Here's Brian Pena now. Kenny, last year we talked about the Cy Young race in the National League and Clayton Kershaw and Zach Greinke possibly splitting the vote. Do you see the same kind of scenario with the two Cubs leading the charge this year?
It could happen, but Scherzer is a factor.
On a hop for Kawasaki. We'll continue this discussion as we go to the bottom of the 9th inning. Can't take it a break with Kenny saying that Scherzer's a factor. We'll have more on that when we come back.
Hello.
Hi.
Welcome. This is the Chevy Malibu. It was awarded Most Dependable Midsize Car by J.D. Power.
It looks great. Wow. What is happening? Oh my gosh, it's going up.
But the Malibu's not the only vehicle that was awarded.
This is mind-blowing.
The Chevy Camaro, Equinox, and Silverado HD were awarded Most Dependable as well.
This is extremely impressive. There's so many.
Doing it once, yeah, great job. 4 times, obviously, they're doing something right.
Absolutely.
Marco Polo! Marco Polo! Marco Polo! Marco Polo! Marco
Sì.
Marco Polo!
Scusa, ma io sono Marco Polo, ma...
Playing Marco Polo with Marco Polo? Surprising.
Ragazzini, io sono Marco Polo. Sì, sono qui.
What's not surprising? How much money Amanda and Keith saved by switching to Geico.
Ah, Polo? Polo?
15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
Polo?
Did you know pain is caused by aggravated nerves? Introducing the Aspercreme with lidocaine patch. It quickly desensitizes aggravated nerves to block pain for maximum strength relief with no odor or irritation. New Aspercreme with lidocaine patch. Relieve the nerves, stop the pain.
I am Sebastian Atwa, brewmaster, risk taker. I sold everything I had to own a brewery. You might have heard its name. Stella Artois, the legacy.
Welcome back. Our prevailing moments of the game are sponsored by Hartford, and Randall Gritchick provided a pair of them. A 2-run knock to make it 4-0 in the first, and then a shot here in the third that ensured it and made it a 6-3 lead. I say ensured because the Cardinals haven't given up a lick since. In fact, Chicago hasn't gotten any closer since that moment. Cardinals have added on. Certainly it's a 10-3 St. Louis lead, and they are 3 outs away from evening up this series. They've turned to their closer in a decidedly non-save situation, but for Sun Hwang Oh, he has not pitched since Monday.
Yeah.
And he'll work the 9th inning here today.
And you know, he's one of the rare guys where it doesn't matter what situation he pitches in. His numbers are the same. Non-save, save. He's been tough to hit. Since the Cardinals made that change and put him at the end of the game, more consistent results.
Jorge Soler, the first to face him, sends a drive, a lazy fly ball out to left. It's handled by Pham. I want to get back to Kenny on the Cy Young discussion, because Kenny, you floated the idea that Max Scherzer is going to have a say-so in terms of the vote split, and it's not just going to be Kyle Hendricks and John Lester getting consideration.
Right, here's where we are, Matt. Hendricks and Lester are 1-2 in the league in ERA. Scherzer leads the league in strikeouts and innings, 7th in ERA. But I want to ask John about this because I'm curious about his opinion. Scherzer has thrown 38 1/3 more innings than Hendricks, but Hendricks has Scherzer in ERA by more than 3/4 of a run per 9 innings. So you have 2 sizable gaps in important categories. How do you look at it, John?
Yeah, that's a great call, and it's always interesting. But then when you break it down and you go, all right, Scherzer in 33 starts has thrown 1 more out per start. It's all in how you break it and make it look, right?
Contreras with a high drive into the corner, and that one is gone. Number 11 for Wilson Contreras, and he knew it right off the bat.
But to finish that thought, I would say this. I mean, that does matter. Innings pitched and being able to go to the post every single time does give you a slight advantage. And I think what Scherzer has done is put himself in more categories along with Lester of dominance. So if you've got 5 or 6 categories you basically look at, those 2 guys come up a little bit bigger than Hendricks. Oh, by the way, under the radar, just been fantastic all year. Here's the other number I would look at. When I look at the Cubs and the starters, Hendricks is 0-7 when the Cubs got him 2 runs or less. 0-7. He's 15-1 when they've scored 3 on up, right? 7-1 when they've scored 3 to 5 runs. 8-0. The Cubs as a whole have won 59-1 on their starters when they score 6 runs or more. So that offense has given them the flexibility and luxury to pitch with the lead. 4-23 when 2 runs or less. So we all talk about the glass half full, that glass half empty. You can you can pick apart anything, right? And basically the Cubs don't play a lot of close games. And they don't have a huge record in close games, but they haven't needed it.
Well, I certainly don't fault a guy. By the way, every time I see Kyle Hendricks, I think he's Craig Counsell. Let's just get that out of the way. But I don't fault a guy for being 0-7 when his team gets him 2 runs or less. You're supposed to be, you're not supposed to be that good.
Right.
There's a fly ball into right. And by the way, I don't want to lose sight of what's happening on the field in our Cy Young discussion. The home run by Wilson Contreras guaranteed that Dexter Fowler would have a chance
for the cycle
at the cycle.
And finish my last thought, in the 7 games that Hendricks is 0-7, Lester in those same 7 games 3-2. That's the difference of having a monster year like Lester is, taking advantage and going 500 or less or better in those starts. So
make a good point.
Anyways,
well, here is Fowler. He has singled, doubled, and tripled today. Struck out in the 7th. And had it not been for that Contreras 1-out home run in the 9th, he would not have had this opportunity to try to hit for the cycle. It's not going to matter as So gets him to pop up. And Unswung O finishes the 9th and wraps up a 10-4 St. Louis win. So with the Cardinals win, they have pulled into a temporary tie with the Giants for the 2nd wild card spot in the National League. The Giants are in San Diego later tonight. The Mets home hosting the Phillies. Only 1 game between those 3 teams atop the National League wild card post. For John Smoltz and Ken Rosenthal, Matt Vasgersian saying so long from Wrigley Field, where the Cardinals have defeated the Cubs 10-4. We'll get you out to the studio with Ryan Field, Eric Karros, and C.J. Nitkowski right after a quick commercial timeout.
All the big dreams, all the wins, all the stolen bases, double plays, no hitters, and walk-offs. Doesn't mean anything now. Because the only thing that matters is October.
With Extreme, every screen in your home is a TV screen. Plus, you can record shows on the go with the TiVo app. And with download speeds up to 150 meg and matching Wi-Fi speeds, Extreme was made for multi-streaming. Extreme bundles with TV, internet, and phone start as low as $29.99 each a month for a year. Plus, get an extra $10 off a month for 3 years with code SAVE10. Don't wait. Call 800-SIMPLIFY.
You look so good, I almost feel bad eating you. But with juicy chicken bites and a tangy sweet and spicy sauce with world-famous seasoned fries for just $3, the good deals are never safe. The sweet and spicy chicken bites box. Chicken bites and sweet and spicy sauce with fries. Also available in classic or buffalo for just $3. Checkers and Rallies. Fast foodies know the deal.
I mean, isn't that how it's always been? Lucius and Cookie, you and me against this crazy world.
Excuse my interruption. Fox Wednesdays.
That man was being so polite.
I don't trust polite people, stupid.
Empire returns to its glorious over-the-top form.
He is fine. So clean shaven, slick talking, acting all holier than thou. Get out of here.
Only other person I ever seen her go off on like that is you.
Empire Wednesday on Fox.
You sound like a man who is afraid that I am dead right.
They talk about the Cowboys and the Patriots like they're like your kids.
What am I missing? This is the place to be.
You won't listen.
I do not hate LeBron James. In fact, I like him. I don't like it.
I love it.
That's the hottest seat in sports media. This is undisputed.
Oh, yes, sir. Welcome inside our Fox Saturday Baseball studios here in Los Angeles. Ryan Fields, C.J. Nitkowski, Eric Karros. Cardinals beat the Cubs 10-4. They're now tied with the Giants for the second and final wild card spot, pending San Francisco's outcome later today. And, C.J., you said before the game, the guy you were keeping an eye on was Alex Reyes, and he got some help from that Cardinals offense.
Yeah, he did so today. 115 pitches in 5 innings. Not ideal, but it was the offense that covered him. They spotted him first with that 4-run lead, and then all of a sudden now they continued to add on. The veteran Yadier Molina getting it done, but also some young guys chipping in. Randall Grichuk today as well. Steven Piscotty had a big day as we see his home run here. This is what the Cardinals are certainly capable of. They have this kind of offense.
You know, we're talking about offense. When we think of the Cubs, it's Bryant and Rizzo, and then we talk about the vaunted pitching staff. This afternoon, we had an opportunity to see a player for the Cubs that I think is invaluable, and that's Dexter Fowler. Swung the bat well today and really sets the tone for this Cubs ball club. You know, June 20th to July 22nd, Fowler was on the disabled list. I don't think it's any coincidence that they went 10-17 during that run. Dexter Fowler, when he is in the lineup for the Cubs, they are 40 games over. Wow. He gets everything going. He sets the tone. He's that first hitter, and he can do so many things. And to think that this was a guy that they didn't even want at the beginning of the year. He was ready to go to the Baltimore Orioles. Lands in the Cubs' lap, and look what he's done.
Yeah, Fowler almost hitting for the cycle today. The Cubs and Cardinals, their season series now tied at 9 games apiece. Meantime, in the American League, Tigers trying to hang on to that second and final wild card spot. Picking up third inning, tied at 1 until this. J.D. Martinez off Yordano Ventura. Cameron Maben scores 2-1 Tigers. It was a 3-2 Detroit lead in the 6th. Here's Martinez again at the plate. And he comes through again. RBI single. Once again scores Maben. Royals, though, have 2 on in the top of the 9th, 1 out. Tigers up currently 4-2. And as it stands right now, the Tigers with that half-game lead over the O's, 1 game back of the Blue Jays in the AL wildcard standings. That's the story on the diamond. Later today on Fox, coming up at 7 Eastern, the Fox College Football pregame leading into Oklahoma State Baylor. Catch us back here next week, 12:30 Eastern, for Fox Saturday Baseball.
The Son of Lawrence Premier has Laugh Out Loud Funny.
I got a big old bag of warm meat in the bathroom sink.
You're kind of trying to cut back on warm sink meat?
Got some cold stuff in the toilet.
Tomorrow on Fox.
Is your client working with anyone on the TV side?
My client's interested in anything that pays money.
Atlanta, all new Tuesday on FX and FX Now.
The only thing that matters is October.
Garbage Time with Katie Nolan, Wednesday at 11:30 on FS1.
One day this Saturday, September 24th, all 3 Green stores hosting the Quad City Giant Green Garage Sale. Independent used car buyers and Kelly Blue Book representatives are on site, all competing to get you the most money for your trade. You are guaranteed to get the highest trade amount possible. These reps are experts who know the market and are willing to give you more than you ever thought possible for your vehicle. Choose from over 1,500 vehicles, deeply discounted. Everything is on sale. One day only, the 24th, at the Green Family of Dealers Garage Sale, your discount destination.
Green, gotta go to Green. Uncle Bill's Pizza is now delivering and still making pizza from scratch. Hand-tossed dough topped with homemade sauce, freshly grated cheese, and hand-ground sausage. Try the big 5-pound garden pizza. That's 5 pounds of sausage, pepperoni, mushroom, green peppers, onions, and cheese, all baked to perfection. Uncle Bill's Pizza East and West now delivering from both locations in Davenport. Or stop by and pick one up. Stop going to the same old place. Call Uncle Bill's today. I love Uncle Bill's Pizza.
One day this Saturday, September 24th, all 3 Green stores hosting the Quad City Giant Green Garage Sale. Independent used car buyers and Kelly Blue Book representatives are on site, all competing to get you the most money for your trade. You are guaranteed to get the highest trade amount possible. These reps are experts who know the market and are willing to give you more than you ever thought possible for your vehicle. Choose from over 1,500 vehicles, deeply discounted. Everything is on sale. One day only, the 24th. At the Green Family of Dealers Garage Sale, your discount destination.
Green, gotta go to Green.
Two Road Girls has moved.
This is so heavy. What do you have in here? Socks.
Weeknights at 5:30 and 11:30 on Fox 18. We now join the following program on Fox 18, already in progress.
Now, Voltar will never rule the omniverse.
Well.
Someone order food?
No.
Better check this out.
Hi.
Hi.
Who is it?
Detective Beckett.
Darling, are we entertaining? Dad.
Yeah.
Manners.
Right. Come on in, please. Right? You're welcome.
Thank you.
You bet. You remember my mother, Martha, and Alexis, of course.
Hi. Yes. Hello.
Can I make you a drink?
Wow. Feel like Alfred in the Batcave for the first time.
Batman fan. Figures.
Why?
Similar origin stories. Loss of a loved one leads to a life of fighting crime.
Yes, well, you are the multimillionaire crime fighter.
Yeah. That's where I outline my books.
It's funny. Looks a lot like our murder board.
Yeah, except mine's fake.
Yeah.
Something wrong?
I can't find it.
Find what?
The answer.
It was Sam. Everything fits. It's a good ending.
Yeah, but without proof, it's just a theory. And that family, those kids, they need more than just a theory. They need to know. I need to know.
Well, you have an ending. You want the rest, you need to work backwards. You need to finish.